When we picked up your ship, part of me was excited. At first. But then after all this time, you haven't changed. At all. You're still the same.
I've changed. Whatever the fine is, I'll pay. Just give me 3 cycles.
Baby, I'm different.
Let me prove that I'm not still... whatever it is you're gonna finish that sentence with. Find Drax. And save Drax. It'll be fine. Just curl up in a ball.
What?
Drax, throw him.
Very well. No. Wait. Peter.
It's okay. He'll land on his feet. Ooh. I guess that only applies to cats.
You sons of dogs! Scut-busting ass bladders!
I am not familiar with these words.
Honestly, guys, I don't know what that second clip was. I'm just being honest. What's up, people? It's about to get diplomatic. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we have got Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes, finally, my final thoughts. So, guys, as you already know, going forward, there will be some spoilers ahead. I tried my best not to give you too much of the video at the start. But anyway, guys, let's have fun and let's get straight into this one. So the story takes place with a young Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, celebrating his 13th birthday on Earth with his mother. Of course, he's dreaming, and then he wakes up in the Milano, which is the ship of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, as Peter's woken up, the Guardians of the Galaxy, they are trying to find themselves as a group still. This is the early stages of them being the group, and they are not very synchronized. Yes, guys, you know, if you have seen the movies, read the comics, you know what the Guardians are about. Unfortunately, these guys suffer a lot, but even though they suffer, they still get the job done, despite the crazy personalities in this group, okay? So within the story, you also get to know that there was a massive interstellar war, and with this war, it did a lot of damage, did a lot of tarnish and whatnot, and then, of course, along the way, you get to meet the Nova Corp group, which is run by Corel, and, of course, her young little daughter, Nikki Gold, who is supposedly supposed to be Star-Lord's daughter. Turns out it wasn't true. It wasn't true, you know. But at the same time, they kind of look like each other, but that's neither here nor there. With the group trying to build their reputation, they come across a new type of villain, Raker and the Church. Now, Raker, he is somebody that is basically, yeah, he has a group. It's a cult following. His cult following is so weird, and it's so obviously out of this world. But long story short, there's something called faith energy, and that is what the Church thrive on. So with this faith energy, they make you hold on to things that are not even around anymore, and this is what they do to not so much the team, but pretty much to a lot of the people in this world, in this galaxy, because they want to make people feel these things that are not actually reality. You know, Peter's mother, she is obviously dead, but the Church want him to feel it again and say, yeah, this is the actual reality, this is the truth, when really it's not the truth. With what's going on, you will need the help of the Xandarian World Mind, Mantis, and Adam Warlock. With that being said, there's also other few characters as well, and what started off to be a rookie job for these guys, it ends up being a crazy big adventure. Like, this adventure turns into something so crazy that I was just like, wow, we're really going from here to another place to this planet. It's just, it is all over the place, but it's expected because it's the Guardians. What do you expect? Let's get into some of the gameplay and features. Even though you main Star-Lord, you can still use your other team members to use your abilities, okay? So you've got Gamora, she's agile with the sword, Drax has got his strength, Rocket explosives, Groot can just use his roots. So they've all got unique abilities, all got different special powers. Like, you guys know when it comes to Guardians as well, they're very unorthodox as well in terms of fighting, so they just do whatever they please. Along with Star-Lord, you know he's tech savvy as well. He's got his jet boots, his visor, blasters, and his tape recorder. Yes, his tape recorder. He loves 80s music. You know he's born in the 80s, all right? You don't need to... It's pretty self-explanatory, all right? But let's get back to the first three. So with his jet boots, you can either use them to dodge enemies or you can maneuver through the map as you go along. Then you have his visor, pretty important because it helps you like scan certain things, and you need certain objects to do certain tricks with like bridges and stuff and whatnot, and maybe electrical circuits. That's what the whole purpose of his visor is for, is just to scan and make sure you got all the information you need. And his blasters, he's got from ice, light, wind, and plasma. Yeah, all four of those abilities for his guns, pretty dope. And the way they shapeshift and change into a different blaster every time throughout the story, really dope idea. Within the story, you're going to have certain dialogue moments that you can interact with. Not only interact with, but you could also make certain decisions to like maybe time a jump, or even like say certain things to a certain character to avoid maybe upsetting them or making them happy, things of that nature. And that's a really good feature because you get to kind of like see how the team interacts. Again, you know, I've said this before. Guardians, these guys are so unorthodox, so weird, so I don't know how they stay, somehow they're in sync. They're a group that's in sync. Like, this is the confusing bit about Guardians of the Galaxy. They're in sync, but then they're not in sync. Also, you got the Milano, which you can have many of ship battles with and whatnot. The only thing with the Milano is that you can't travel to and from different places. You have to just, you know, go along as the story's going along, and when it's the time to use the Milano, it will pop up. You do have 10 different places and planets to go from. So from Seknarf 9 to Xandar. So there are different locations you can travel from. Make sure, guys, when you are exploring, look out for things like collectibles such as clothes, old messages, and even components, because components can help you upgrade your skills and weapons, and you can do that at Rocket's workbenches, and they can either be on the Milano or they'll be stationed across all different types of maps. Okay, so make sure you look out for those things as well. They do get tricky to find at times, but you just have to explore the maps when you're on them. Let's get into the positives of this game. The story is great, from action to comedy. Guys, when I told you there is a lot that is going on in the story, like, you're going to be fighting a lot, you're going to be flying around, you're going to be, you know, trying to figure out some small little puzzles, and then you get to hear the dialogue, which is the best part because it is complete comedy. Too much comedy. I think there's a point literally where it's just like, how much more silly can it get with these guys? You know what I mean? It didn't stay in one place, and that's a great thing as well, because I feel like when games stay in one place, it doesn't bring out the best ability of that game, or the story just kind of gets drowned out by just being in the same surroundings. So with this, even though it's not open world, you can still kind of like travel, see different places and cities and obviously planets. So it is really enjoyable. The character development is really good as well. Despite you know about Star-Lord, you know, you don't really know much about Gamora, Drax, Rocket, Groot, but you still kind of get to understand them when you talk to them, right? So when you're on the Milano, you get to individually speak and discuss certain things with them, right? They have many different like characters who get to show up as well, which is from Mantis to Cosmo the dog and Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock, I personally felt like he was better in this game than he was in the movie. That's just me personally. But yeah, and you don't have to be a big Marvel fan or, you know, be watching the cinematic universe and things like that to understand this game right here, because this is pretty much the early stage. This is before anything really like kind of kicks off. The soundtrack, 80s music, from Iron Maiden to Rick Astley. Yes, I said it, Rick Astley. You know what song I'm thinking about? Let's not, you know, we don't need to go there. Aesthetics really stand out in this game as well, guys. When you step into different environments, you're really going to notice what is different about this planet and what's different about that planet, or even a certain place, maybe a spaceship or space in general. Like the atmosphere, the aesthetic, it's really pleasing to see that this game doesn't disappoint with that. And then, of course, the enemies kind of varied. I will say that you don't just get one type of enemies, you get different types of enemies that kind of vary and kind of like, you know, just take you on as and gives you that pressure that you need in a video game to obviously fight on. Even though there were positives to this game, there were some negatives, I will say. And that was, it wasn't open world. And Guardians of the Galaxy is a game that should be a game that's, you know, that should be stretched throughout the galaxy, and you should be able to travel through wherever you can. You know, there wasn't really a fast travel. You couldn't even use the Milano to fast travel to certain points and whatnot. But you just had to stay within the story. And I think that's where the game kind of like was like, this could have been better if it was open world. you couldn't use the team simultaneously. Yeah, you can't use all the players at the same time. You have to use them at different points when you're fighting and whatnot. Now, the combat is great regardless, but I do think that switching from different characters would have made this so much better. Which comes on to my next point, co-op. This game was worth the co-op. This game was definitely worth it. All right, I could have seen this playing with my friends. I could have played with my friends, whoever, and it would have been fun. You know, a 4 to 5 player game story like of co-op, just doing random stuff with the Guardians of the Galaxy. That would have been a lot of fun, you know. And lastly, the combat can get overwhelming, guys. Yeah, so guys, if you like the combat, which I think the combat is great in this game, you know, it does get overwhelming. There are certain characters that do come along, and when you're fighting certain bosses, they don't exactly they make it harder. They make it very stressful, I will say that. But nonetheless, this game, boy, there's a lot to say about this. So, Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy, I've got to say, this story, this game, look at how they're walking. Like, this is it. This is literally it. This is what you see, what you get. All right, this is it. I can't explain this game any more than I have, guys. I really can't. Honestly, it is packed with a lot of stuff, action, comedy. There's even some sadness as well to it if you low-key pay attention. And yeah, I can't lie, this was done really well. It felt like a movie. It felt like I was watching the movie for the first time again, but differently. And it's good to see a different take on it, because now I kind of see like, oh well, you know, it can be, if you give it to the right people, it can be done differently. So my rating of this game is 9 out of 10. It's definitely a 9 out of 10 for me, guys. I enjoyed this a lot. So with that being said, guys, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, because I want to hear what you guys liked, what you disliked. And yeah, despite this game being 3 years old, man, boy, was it an adventure. But anyway, that's me, guys. I'm done. I'm gone. Peace.